This is a tutorial on how to apply the custom advanced theme to your Alamode pages. In this case, I have an Alamode site, and I am using the blank advanced theme under advanced, which basically means it has no theme of Alamode. So all of the pages within Alamode, which have content in them, are basically standalone pages. They are not like a regular Alamode site that once you pick a theme, that these pages are just the body and they are wrapped by the theme that you've chosen. Instead, they all are standalone pages and they all need to have the theme added. In this case, you can see I've created a theme that has a header, it has a menu, has a slideshow and a quick application, it has a body area, and it has a footer section. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be applying everything you see here minus the body into each one of these pages right here. So if you go to custom, the first thing you're going to want to do is find your template. And here is my template page. I actually have a bunch of different template pages all set up already, but this is the one that we're going to be using, the template page. So I went ahead and already opened this page, and as you can see when you open it, it's just the basic theme and there's some X's. Now these X's are important because this is where your body content's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and click the little less than, greater than symbols and come into my code. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom because that until I find my X's. In this case they're near the bottom. They may not be in other themes. And this is where I want to be. So now I'm going to come back to my pages that I want to apply the theme to. So I'm going to start with, are you pre-approved? Now the first thing is to remove all of the stuff in here that is not going to be on the new theme. All I really want is the body content. Now I can spend a lot of time doing this, but there is an easy way to do it that would be a lot quicker. The only problem with the easy way is sometimes when you do it, you get Alamode puts in some weird codes and things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put X's in the beginning and in the end. This is one method of grabbing the content up. So now I'm going to scroll down. Oh, I'm going to go until I find my X's. Okay, so here's my X's. Now you're going to notice that there's lots of pieces of code in here. Little style, font families, all this stuff, the spans. It really has to go. You really don't want to have this in here. So I can grab the content out of here and just cut it out and come here, and then after I cut it out rather, I'm going to grab the rest of this and just delete it. So now I have blank. I can paste it back in. Again, I'm toggling between the HTML view and the design view, and here it is again, and move my X's. So I can start with this. But the only problem with this is, again, we have all these spans. So you may want to sit here and remove them all, or you can just kind of go like this, highlight it, clear your formatting, go back, and you can still see it's all still in there. So I'm going to grab this real quick and show you the other way. The other way, I'm going to open it up one more time, is simply to come here to this section right here and click revert. And it's just going to revert it back to what it was when it originally was set up before I had all that other stuff in there. So you can see again still the span and all that stuff is in there. So you can leave that in there if it looks okay. It's really not going to matter for an Alamode standard page. You really have to view it online to see what it's going to look like, and you may have to come back and remove all these spans and these extra pieces of code like this. Just depends on what it's going to look like when it's done. So let's assume you've already done that, and we'll get to the installing the template. So you have your code. You're going to click your HTML and go to the HTML version, and we're going to go ahead and go back to the template. Now the first thing that I typically do is I put my mouse at the beginning of the X's, hold my shift key, and go page up until I get all the way to the top. I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to come back to my page, put my cursor right in front of the beginning of the code, and paste. Now I'm going to come back to my template, and I'm going to go ahead and put my cursor at the end of the X's, hold my shift key and page down, and copy. And now I'm going to go back to my page content, and I'm going to put my cursor at the end and paste. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back to my design, toggle it into small screen, and I'm going to go ahead and click this to make sure it's added. This is all going to depend on the site that you're working on. So if the site you're working on does or doesn't want this added in there, you want to add it based on the client. So actually I'm going to uncheck it in this case. And then I'm going to go ahead and save and continue. Now here comes the important part. I'm going to go ahead and copy the little web address, go to the site, paste it in, and check my work. Always, always check your work, because every single one of these pages may turn out different based on what's in here. So that looks good. It looks right, proper. I'm good with this one. I'm going to go ahead and close it because it's done. And then I'm going to move into the next one, buy or don'ts. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to go ahead and double checking to make sure there's nothing in here that was custom written by the client and added into it. Doesn't look like it. Rewrite page. It's going to go ahead and remove it. Now, it looks a little different now. And if I don't want to save it, I can just click buy or don'ts and check it against the previous version. Now, it is a little different, and let's see. Sometimes there's more than one template up here. And it may be that this is just updated and this is really old. And I believe that is what it is. I believe this is just new information and this is old. So that's fine. We're going to keep the new information. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure that this application opens up in a new window. Anytime you have a mortgage site and somebody wants to do the application, I almost always put it in a new window because the application doesn't work inside the themes. It usually has errors. So I'm going to go ahead and click the less than greater than symbol. I'm going to go to my template. I'm going to start with the bottom since I already have it highlighted. And I'm going to go down to the bottom. Paste this in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab this and copy it. Go to the top and tighten that up. Paste it in here. I'm going to go ahead and grab my code, save and continue, come here and paste and enter. We want to double check it. Everything looks good. We're good to go. And you're just going to go ahead and keep repeating that process. Now, every once in a while you may come across a page that is a little bit different. Now in this case, this page has staff profiles in it, and when you go to this page, it's actually going to look kind of funny. This is what happens when you go to the page and you just were to put the template in there. It puts the template in, but then notice that the staff profiles are down here underneath everything. That's because this acts as a header that goes above this information right here. Here's your actual page content, and this content displays first when a visitor goes to the staff profiles page. It's basically for like an about us. So this is kind of a weird page. So we're going to do something different with this page. We're going to go ahead and take all this out, and we're going to save. We're going to uncheck this, and I'm going to give it a different name because I'm going to create a new page for this. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 2 after this and save and close. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to my wizard, and I am going to create a custom page. This is the best way to handle one of these pages that has the custom information in it. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, as I finish that page, close it. I'm going to grab all my code and I am going to paste it in here. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to put an iframe in here. So I'm going to get my iframe code, and I use a wizard for this often. I have bookmarked. I'm going to grab my URL, and I know it's going to have a 2 after it because that's the actual URL that I'm going to be copying now. See, here it is. So I'm actually going to grab that, go to my iframe code page. Okay, so now we have our iframe. I'm going to go ahead and paste in my URL. I want it to be 800 width by, I'll say 600 height. We can always go back and change this. I don't want it to have a border. I do want it to be aligned, and I want scrolling to be off. Okay, something went wrong with this. So let's try refreshing the page. Okay, let's try again. And you can change this to % or whatever it is you want. I'm going to go ahead again, change no, generate. Okay, so that didn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Google. We'll just find something different. Alright. Pop-ups. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and paste this iframe right in here. So once I have it pasted, I'm going to go ahead and save and continue. Now I'm going to go check the page. This is where the tweaking comes in. You're just going to have to go back and forth and tweak it until it gets right. Okay, so here's what it is. Now I don't want the footer showing here because I already have it here. So what I need to do is I need to tweak it so that it is not going to show this footer, but it's still going to show this information, and the width is going to match. So starting with my width, let me double check my width of this page. How wide do I want this? And how tall? Approximately 1143 by 444. So I'm just going to come in here, find my code, height, 4, width, 1143, and save and continue. Go back, refresh. And now it looks perfect. So now you have a staff directory page that looks correct. Now, the only problem with this is you're going to notice that in this case, they don't have all the pictures of the staff, so it's going to kind of look funny. And I would definitely want to fix that because as they add them in, these are going to be pushed down and you're not going to see them. Easy way to do that is to add some dummy photos in there. So I like to do that. And let's see, we have Al. So just go to his user profile, change his portrait. I usually have some in here. If not, Here we go. And if you need these silhouettes, you can always just come to Atlantis Mortgage and grab them. So we have Al, we have Lori, Chris, and Stan. So go Lori, change the portrait to girl silhouette. Okay. Chris, change. Hopefully Chris is a guy. And Stan. Now, if the agent or somebody had come in here and added photos and you didn't do this, this is what's going to happen. Notice how it pushes the other ones down. So, very important to add those silhouettes in there. We're going to come back in here. I already know what the width is, so I'm just going to adjust the height. Just make it 1200 and see where it comes out. And it's perfect. Couldn't be more perfect. So now if they want to put a about Atlantis Mortgage, something in there about them, they would have to go back to that page under my content, the number 2 page. And they could actually put in something that talks about Atlantis Mortgage in here, and it would show up in here. So this is a common thing you're going to come across occasionally on copying a template, and is very important to know how to do that, how to add in the iframes. So make sure it doesn't have any scrolling so it looks like it's seamlessly integrated into the site. And that's how you're going to update the template on an Alamode site.